Recording. Hello, my name is Cara Carney. I usually host a podcast called Book of Leaves, which is all about eco-friendly living, and I interview people in Ireland. But I want to begin a vlogging journey, I guess, a bit of a documentary as to what it's like to commit to not buying anything new in Ireland for a year. I'm going to do this as best I can, and I really wanted to kind of document the process to hold myself to a bit of a higher standard in regards to really trying to buy everything secondhand that I need or source it in a new way. Sometimes I can be a little lazy and I just want something that's convenient or easy or quick for me, but I think if I'm committing to the challenge and I'm documenting it, I'll hold myself to a higher standard, you know? I also wanted to highlight really amazing avenues and sources that exist in this country that people might not know of, that they can use as well, and also to get your help and your advice, because I am far from perfect, but I think it's something that's really important to do. I'm doing a no-buy year first and foremost for the planet. Our environment, everything we rely on comes from this floating rock in the middle of space. I can't really think about it, or it just overwhelms me. And obviously it's in a bit of trouble at the moment, and one of the biggest issues is overconsumption. We're a mere blip in the history of this ecosystem, this planet and all the life on it, and we have created so much stuff that we really don't need, and it's hard not to buy into that sometimes, because we get advertisements left, right and centre of telling us that we need to buy this thing to feel a certain way, to fit in, to be pretty, and then sure, the beauty trends change 3 months later, and then what was in is now out, and now everyone's throwing out their skinny jeans. Everything we buy and we eventually use up, it just gets thrown away, where? It's this mystical land. Away is often to landfill or to another country's landfill, often a lower income country that just, they're literally treated as like a one big kind of dumping ground for countries in the West. So I'm so conscious of this now, of where everything goes. One thing I really learned about in 2023 was technology, what we do with our electronics. I interviewed Jerry McGovern for my podcast. It was a really, really enlightening chat. So now I've invested in a Fairphone last year, which is all ethically sourced. And the thing I love about this is you can repair it yourself. The point of it is for it to be yours forever. It's not got the issue that we're seeing in Europe of planned obsolescence. Is that what it's called? Where something is like intended to break after a number of years so that you will buy a new one. I am over that. I'm so over that. And I think a lot of people kind of are, but maybe it's not easy to know what you can buy instead or where you can go. So this is a little project that I'm going to try, I guess, raise awareness and help you find the places or the companies that you can go to for the things that we do need. And as I am really, really aware of consuming and overconsumption, you won't find any ads. If I, for some reason in this year or in the future, get some kind of affiliate link or something like that, I will be really transparent about it, and that will only ever be with companies that I really, really believe in, as opposed to something that is just selling you something that you might not actually need. That's a little bit about why I'm doing a no buy new year. What is a no buy new year? It's different obviously to a no buy year. Some people have a no buy or a no spend year where they don't spend anything or buy anything, including coffee for themselves. I am not doing that. I'm not trying to save for a house. Because I live in Dublin, it's kind of impossible to buy a house anyway. So I'm just gonna live my life. I'm gonna continue supporting the arts. My one sole purpose is to not buy anything new if I can help it. So everything I get is secondhand or borrowed, and we'll see how we go. That's really what a no buy new year is. There will be times when I am going to buy new things. Obviously this is within reason. Food and toiletries, things that are going to run out, I will buy new. But when it comes to supporting artists, I would love buying prints off people like this one. I have this print here. I've yet to take it out of its packaging, which is compostable, by the way. This is Zombie Face Sarah. She makes beautiful art prints. She's a vegan as well, and she's Irish. So there's artists that I love to support. My kryptonite is books. It's not fashion. I love buying secondhand fashion in charity shops or on Depop, and because I work loads, I'm just in various work uniforms a lot of the time anyway, and don't really have time to kind of dress up, although I kind of put in the effort today for you guys. But books are my kryptonite. So if a new book comes out, like, I might absolutely support the author and buy the book new, but I'm definitely going to challenge myself to visit libraries a little bit more this year and continue borrowing books and things like that. So as I said, there will be some challenges. I am a very lazy person when it comes to crafting and creating, and I think there's a lot of misconceptions about what environmentalists are, or people who try to live low waste living are. First off, I can't keep a plant alive for me for the life of it. I have one plant, can you see? There's a plant here. That's a spider plant. The easiest plant I've had, and even the tips of that are like a bit brown sometimes. I'm sorry. I love you. But like, I can just about keep a spider plant alive. I'm a terrible cook. I hate cooking. Because I work lots of different jobs and I do a lot of hours during the week, when I come home, I'll often either be editing on my computer or working on other emails or invoicing and things like that. And then when I do have my downtime, I often just find myself just like vegging out and watching documentaries or watching TV shows. Honestly, I am just a little bit lazy when it comes to making things, so there will be things that I could definitely do with during the year, little craft projects and things like that, that I'm gonna have to just make instead of buying. There's like a frame there, an upcycled frame that I bought in the Rediscovery Centre where all my jewellery is, and I want to like hang all of my necklaces off the bottom of it, but I need to put hooks in. I'd love to hang my guitar up on the wall. Like, there's lots of little kind of crafty things that I would like to do in this room that I only moved into in June. Another challenge that I'm gonna face is I lose things. Like, I lose things so often. So I can break things as well, but really, I lose things. I don't need to say anymore. You'll already see in the video. By the way, I'm recording this in March because I started traveling in January and I didn't have time to record anything before going on those travels. So that's a little bit about the challenges that I do expect. How many things will I lose? I'm going to try the hardest that I can, but it probably isn't going to be perfect. Now, as I said, I began traveling in 2024. So for the first 5 weeks of the year, I was actually traveling in Kenya, which was amazing, by the way. The wildlife, the weather, the people, the food, like really easy to find veggie food. But anyway, that is where this journey starts. My no-buy New Year begins by going to Kenya, where I am perfectly achieving my no-buy new challenge.
It is 5:20 a.m. on the 2nd of January 2024, and my no-buy new year has already had to come to its first hiccup, as the lock that I went to use for travelling has stopped remembering the code that I know for it. Obviously there's something wrong with the lock and not my memory, so I had to buy 2 of these, and I endeavour not to forget the code so that I don't need to buy them new again.
So as you can see, on the 2nd of January, I had to go and bloody buy a stupid lock. In hindsight, the further into the year I've gone and the longer I've gone without buying anything new, I'm actually so annoyed about this. I since discovered that this particular brand, you can actually bring to a shop, the Go Travel, I think they're called. You can bring to a shop that sells them, or you can find somewhere that kind of makes them, and they have like a special key that will go in there and unlock, like they can reset the thing for you. I'll do that with my old one and then give the other one away, but I'm actually so annoyed about this. But hey, as I said, this is not going to be perfect. I'm going to be sharing everything, like the things that I buy new that I really wish I didn't buy new, or I regret, or why did I have to forget the pin? I didn't forget the pin. Like, I'm using the exact same pin for this one that now is not working. Do they expire? No, that doesn't make sense. So I am annoyed about that, but sure, look, if anyone needs the lend of a lock now, I have one and you can borrow it. One other thing that I actually bought while traveling Kenya is an upcycled bag. So this is something that I actually have been looking out for a long time, like a kind of bum bag or some kind of crossbody bag that's really handy for festivals that you can fit like a bottle of a drink in, just your phone and everything. So when I was in Kenya, I found this woman who had a little stall. There was loads of bags and everything, tote bags and everything made out of old denim clothes. I saw this bag there and I got this from her and I'm so happy about it. I just love it. And her name was Nancy. So what's really cool is when you buy a piece of clothing from somebody that they have sewn themselves, they have made themselves, I can go and be like, oh yeah, a woman called Nancy made this. She was so happy. I loved chatting to her. I never got a video or anything because I kind of forgot about the vlogging aspect of the challenge when I was in Kenya because I was just enjoying Kenya too much. But now I have this bag that I can say was made by Nancy. It really is really lovely to find people who are finding waste streams of clothes, and Kenya has a lot of clothes. It's a huge issue where our clothes, when you're throwing your recycled clothes in the recycle bin or whatever, they're going away a lot of the time to East Africa when they're being sent from Ireland and the UK, and 30% of the clothes that they get actually can't even be used. It's just sent straight to landfill. They have so much, like these markets are just full of clothes. She wasn't at one of those markets. She was at like a little music event that was on, but I did go to those markets as well, and I got to see firsthand a little bit of the clothes that end up there when we kind of throw them away. So yeah, that's I guess why I'm doing this challenge. Leaving Kenya, I bought one thing. I collect those little patches of flags and I wanted to sew it on to my bag. It was a very considered purchase. While leaving Kenya with the patch, I also bought myself a new book because I had finished reading both the books that I had with me and I wanted something to read on the plane. And in fairness, I got like a good halfway through. It was this book by climate activist Vanessa Nakate, and I thought I really don't mind giving her my hard-earned money. I would rather kind of support her book. This was a very carefully considered brand new purchase and I will absolutely pass this book on. I will make sure that lots of different people read it because it was really good. I would recommend, and hey, if you want to borrow it, let me know. After arriving back in Ireland, I was freezing and I had lost one of my gloves. So I went and I bought myself a new pair of, when I say new, by the way, they were new to me. Imagine, oh here, I'm doing a no buy new year. Here's all the new things that I bought. I went to Oxfam. Oxfam are really great. They always have gloves and hats, and a lot of the time they are like new to them. They get them unused. So I went and I bought myself 2 pairs of gloves, one cozy pair and one leather or pleather. I'm not sure. The inside is fleece. I don't buy leather new because I'm vegan, but if it's secondhand, I won't mind. But I really wanted something that would be waterproof when I was cycling so my hands wouldn't freeze. I also had no umbrella. I loaned an umbrella to my friend last year and she broke it. It had a really sturdy base. Sometimes it's hard to get, new or not, a good quality fold up umbrella. They just, one of the wind and they just break, you know. So I was so happy to find this umbrella and it feels really sturdy, and it rained the next day and I had all my gear for it, so I was absolutely delighted with that purchase. When I got home from Kenya, I announced it on my Facebook that I'm doing a no buy new year. But one of the things I really needed to, I guess, begin, I needed a cable, a charger cable with this connection, because I have a reusable battery charger. This is the box from it. So I have this charger that I got years ago, and then I moved house last year. I can't find the cable anywhere, but it's the same connection as this. And I want to recharge my AA batteries for fairy lights and things that I need them for, because fairy lights are a need. And I posted on Facebook about doing the challenge and looking for a cable like this, and straight away people were so helpful. I got really lovely comments of friends and some messages from people, and a load of people offering to go digging through their office supply of cables. That was just so helpful. Some people have like clutter and things that kind of stress them out, or like messy wire drawers, and then you go need a wire. You could just walk into like Curry's or whatever and buy something like this, or order it on Amazon. I never even talked about Amazon yet. I avoid Amazon like the plague. Jeff Bezos does not need any more of my money. But anyway, this cable was something that I needed. I ended up getting this cable when I picked up this secondhand camera because the battery that charges it uses this cable, which is amazing. But one of my friends who got in touch offering me this cable before I got the camera is a lecturer in media. And I asked if by any chance I don't need the cable anymore, but does he have a spare SD card? And he did. He came and dropped it off. I forgot to take a video of him. I'm so upset. So I got a little blurry one of Owen driving away. He was so generous. He just gave that to me and I'll get him a coffee or something in return. You could just buy that in a shop, but you don't have the happy, I don't know if it's endorphins or oxytocin or some kind of happy hormone that's released going, oh, generosity, isn't that nice? To film this vlog or documentary, I don't know what it should be called, my acting agency had an old Canon camera. I was absolutely delighted to get this secondhand from them. But when I started using it, I remembered why we ended up having to replace it. It's because the lens makes a noise when focusing. So I started recording, but you could just hear the lens going the whole time. So one thing that I'm actually going to do next month, and I'll update you with the progress, is bring this into a camera repair shop. I'm not sure if it's the camera. It's probably the lens. I think it's the lens. In the meantime, the camera on the Fairphone I think is doing a really, really good job. So I'm gonna continue using that. I think that works quite well. Now on to the next thing that I lost. I have misplaced my tripod that I use for my phone for recording the intro and outro for Book of Leaves, and also for filming self-tapes, especially while travelling, so auditions and that for work. But then I was like, oh look, I'll just check adverts, and voila! There is this, exactly what I need, with the flexible stand, and it's going for €15, postage is €4, and it's coming from Galway. I'm going to message them now and see if they're still available and I can buy this, and it's not new. €15 offered, hopefully they accept. It hasn't even been 2 minutes and he's accepted the offer. Amazing. It just gives you such a happy feeling. So let's see how long it'll take now for me to get it. I could just go into town. I could just go into any kind of techno shop, electronic device shop, and buy a brand new one and then just lose it again. So hopefully whoever finds the one I lost will use it for a long time. So I have my phone precariously balancing on a surface, hopefully for the last time, because I have just got a new, to me, tripod. Oh, I think I may need a scissors. Why am I still wearing my bag? He even had his return address on it, which is nice. Oh. Excellent. Excellent. This is exactly what I need. So anything that you see now, I needed something bendy. There's my little phone holder. This will do the job. Delicious. Well, let's take it for a test drive right the hell now. This is the most flattering angle one can have. Will we do a film, Blair Witch Project, while we're here? Oops. Oh, my pop socket is kind of in the way, which I also got in a charity shop. Da 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 da! She is on a tripod. Let's put it down over here. She's on a tripod, everybody. Woohoo! My phone is on a tripod. Okay, that's one thing that I needed that I got off adverts. So, and it arrived fairly quick. I know I could have just walked into an electricity shop. Not electricity shop, a gadget shop, and got one straight away. But like I said, this feels better. Just got out of bed to collect another secondhand package. It might be noon, no judging. I was working last night. But this package is a game for my Nintendo Switch, which I also bought secondhand in Sex. This game is the Harry Potter game for Switch, which, what's it called? Hogwarts Legacy, and it came out a few months ago, and I've wanted it because, like, I love that universe. But I didn't want to buy it new because I don't want to give J.K. Rowling any money. So sometimes I do buy new games on the online store of Nintendo, you know, because I'm like, it's not a physical thing.
But actually, you save money if you buy them in sex, because you can trade in old games and get discounts, where when you're finished playing a game that you downloaded on your Switch or whatever console, you can't like trade it back, you can't sell it back to the online store. Whereas sex, they will buy back your old hard copy games and give you a discount or a voucher off your next thing. You don't save a whole lot of money if you're buying things new, but it's getting into the trading thing that you start to save money. And for me, as is obvious, I'm not doing it just for the money, I'm doing it for the environmental reasons, but also on this occasion I'm doing it to not give it turf any more money. She has enough. So I did have to wait a little while for, you know, the game to come out on Switch and then people to play it and hand it back in, but there we go. Success at saving money and also not giving a turf more money than she needs. So I'm gonna get playing this at some stage. I've got lots of work to do. Will it be today? I don't know. Today's actually Valentine's Day, so maybe I'll give myself some love. Love recycling. Love recycling this Valentine's Day. Again, not spawn, not affiliated. I just want to be a child, and everything from games to furniture to clothes you can source secondhand. You really do save money and it makes your heart happy. Also, while I'm here, see this crappy thing behind me? This is the headboard that came with the bed of the room that I move into, but it's like this fabric, like a real not nice black fabric thing that kind of like flakes and peels. I think it's made of pleather, and I don't like leaning against it and having it flake off everywhere, so I just have this like bed sheet that I've put over it. But this is one of the projects that I would love to get done. Just putting it out there, I would love to have this like upholstered, reupholstered. That's the word. Let's see if I can show you. Oh, it's tucked in too well. I'm not going to show you now. I'll show you. Oh, maybe. Oh, here, look. It's just leather, but in the middle. Oh, so it's pleather. In the middle here, it's all flaky. So I don't know what I can do to cover it so that it's not flaking. Maybe it is upholstery. Maybe it's something else. Maybe it's just a load of duct tape. I don't know, maybe it's a paint job, but yeah, for now I just have this white sheet over it, but that's something else that I need to get done. You could just buy a new headboard, but obviously I'm not going to do that. And yeah, I hope you enjoy seeing me in my true form. I'm not one of those influencers that puts on makeup and has a nice ring light every time I start recording. Tee. Okay, that's it. I'm off to install the Hogwarts game.
So I started playing the Hogwarts game and I wasn't really feeling it, and something at the back of my mind was like, oh, just go back to your Sims game, Cara, go back to playing Sims, which is my guilty pleasure. And I thought, do you know what, that's not going to work on my laptop because it's not good enough, but I do need a hard drive for storing photographs. Maybe it will work on that.
So I'm going to go get a second-hand hard drive today, and I'm going to trade in this Switch game to make it a little bit cheaper, which I also got, as you can see, from Sex, and I got this second-hand as well.
So I'm literally after coming out of the sex shop there, and I traded in my game that I bought months ago, played, and it's just been sitting in my drawer. Not going to play it again. I bought that for €40. I'm pretty sure I would have traded in something else. But then I traded it back in and got 32. So I essentially rented that game for €8 and was able to trade it back in, get 32 off a 1 terabyte hard drive worth 45 that they were selling second hand, and then get 32 off that. So I only paid €13, which is such a saving. Now obviously all of that money is staying in circulation with sex, but I'm using it to my advantage. So not only is it better for the planet, but I'm saving money. You know, it's all recycling. I don't understand why we don't do that more. It's a no-brainer. €13 that cost me. Obviously I paid for the other game previously, but I'm pretty sure I'd even traded in something else, another game against that, you know. So once you buy your first thing in sex, it all kind of starts saving money off your next purchase, you know. So that was a good purchase, I think. There's the Spire. Don't we love the Spire? That's not second hand. And in case you're wondering, my hat was also second hand. I bought this in Oxfam on Georgia Street. There's an
I forgot to say, but should mention, is I checked that sex shop had a 1 terabyte hard drive in stock before I went there. That is one thing if you're going to be shopping. Sometimes if you're going to charity shops looking for something specific, or you're looking for something tech specific in sex, you might walk from shop to shop and they don't have it, but you can check online. Sometimes they will have things in stock in shop that isn't in the online store, but I just had a look last night online at what was in stock, and I saw it was, so I knew when I went in and traded my game that it should be there, and thankfully it was. Hey Google, cancel radio. So I came home yesterday and used my new to me hard drive for the first time. First off, I can't get over how small 1 terabyte fits now. Can you remember when these used to be huge? I was a teenager, I must have been like 15 or 16 when I got a terabyte hard drive as a present to help store all my photographs and files on, and it was huge. It was nearly like a PlayStation. It wasn't that big, but it was pretty big, and it was just standing up at home on a table or something, and it fell over and the weight of it broke itself only after a short while that I had it, and I have no idea where that is now. I have no idea if it's still in my mum's house, just in one of the boxes of discarded electronic waste things, or if we just would have put it in the black bin. Like, we weren't very good for recycling electronics, which is just very sad to me now, and I'm glad to learn a new behaviour and change my habits and just be very conscious of not wanting any electronic waste to end up in landfill or leaching into rivers and streams, or not being recycled like it could be. So this is such a nicer route that I'm taking now, of just being a little bit more aware. So I got this, as you know, I'm so delighted about the price of it. And I haven't actually looked up what the price of it to buy new is, but I just don't care, because I would rather, even if it's the exact same price, I'd still rather just buy it secondhand. And it comes with a 2-year warranty. There's a warranty on all of Sex's, well, I think all of their stuff, everything that I've been buying anyway. So if it stops working, they're supposed to repair it or replace it. Now, if it breaks from normal use, like if you break it, if you drop it, or water damage your phone or something that you get, then that's not covered. So obviously keep your receipts. This is kind of how I got into it. I started with Sex buying electronics secondhand because of the warranty, because it is covered. Delighted with this. I put all of my photographs on it, so it's better for the planet, instead of storing all of your phone, all of your images and stuff like that, or files and videos in the cloud. There would be no emissions putting my files onto this. This is it, as opposed to it being stored in the cloud and data centers, all the energy that they use storing it. So delighted with this one now.
And then I decided to go spend a voucher that I had received last year that can only be spent on books. And where do I go but Chapters on Parnell Street in Dublin, who has a huge secondhand book section. I got a book token voucher which can be used in any bookshop as far as I know. I'm already after picking up a practically brand new book of the poet Rupi Kaur. I think there's €20, maybe there's €25, I'm not sure, and this is only €8, like essentially brand new, just buying it secondhand. This is definitely one of the best secondhand bookshops. I know you have to spend the voucher on books, it can't be stationery. It means I have to kind of treat myself to a book, you know. This is such a good book. This is really good. Only €7. I already have a copy. I actually have two because I loaned one to a friend and didn't get it back, so then I bought another one. Just picked up Rutger Bergman's book. I was reading this on the library app, but I can't highlight stuff there. Only €10 score. This Humankind, really good book as well. Very, very hopeful. I've heard this is supposed to be amazing for social change, and I've read a book by that author Lisa Fithian that was really, really good. I'm not brave enough to steal it. Glad I won't steal the book because I don't want that to happen. Delighted.
Thank you, chapters.
I'm looking forward to getting into those reads. I then went into the library. So usually I read a lot of non-fiction. I read a lot about climate justice and climate activism, plant-based nutrition. I love reading about racism, about sexism, all the fun things. And I love highlighting and writing notes in these non-fiction books. But when it comes to fiction, I've usually been using the library's BarrowBox app. I did used to use Kindle all the time, but I really just want to stop giving Jeff Bezos my money. This will come up probably several times throughout the year. BarrowBox is a really good app for borrowing and listening to audiobooks completely for free. And obviously it has their ebooks as well. All you need is a free membership to our libraries in Ireland. However, their selection isn't very big sometimes, and there's a lot of fiction that I was kind of looking for by Octavia Butler and Ursula K. Le Guin, visionary sci-fi writers. Their writing focuses on making the world a better place and having strong kind of female leads, and not making just dystopian fiction the whole time, but actually looking at our world, what's wrong with it, and how it could be made better. So I went into the library and found on the table a book from each author, and I decided to pick up and start with Octavia Butler's. I've never read any of either of these authors before, but there was another non-fiction, I guess, an autobiography that I wanted, so I collected that at the library. I had put in an order for that to be transferred from somewhere else, and I rented for the first time in ages 2 actual hard books from the library. I've just been using their app and going in and using their desk space. I haven't actually rented their own book because, as I said, I like to highlight things. That's why I love to own books. But fiction, I don't need to own. I can read and give back. So I happily rented these 2 and absolutely danced out of there. It felt great. So I'm currently reading Octavia E. Butler's book called Kindred, and it's amazing. I'm flying through it, and then I'm going to pick up the second in the Maya Angelou series because I read her first book. I Know Why a Caged Bird Sings. It's so good. So good. So absolutely delighted, and I think the first kind of 2 months of my No Buy New challenge came to like a very nice end. However, I did lose my hat. This hat that you see in all of these videos, this hat and the grey gloves, the brand new and new to me grey gloves that I bought in Oxfam. I lost them. They were in my hat. I've lost them in the building in work. I don't know how, because I went from one room to another and then I left the building without my hat. When I went back in like 2 days later to look for it, I couldn't find it anywhere. So I'm really hoping it shows up, because I've just had a cold head and cold ears and haven't bought it yet, because I don't want to just go and buy it now, even secondhand. I don't want to buy another one. I'm going to really try find it first. Although I could just have 2 hats. But anyway, that's where the saga ends for the first 2 months of the year. Thank you so much for watching. If you have any tips for me, please do comment them below. Sure, you can subscribe if you want. I really look forward to repairing the camera, finding my hat and my gloves. And if not, I have yarn here from years ago when I started learning how to knit. I have since nearly forgotten, but I'll relearn how to knit, and I'm just going to knit a hat with that yarn. The idea of now buying something in hindsight, like I'm being a lot more strict about it than I was at the very beginning of the year, buying the lot. But anyway, thank you so much for watching my first vlog. Let me know how it was. Let me know what can be done better or worse. Let me know what you'd like to hear. And if you have any suggestions, I would love to hear them. There's so many great resources I haven't even talked about yet, and I look forward to delving into those. But yeah, that's how my No Buy New challenge is going. I realised while editing that I forgot to show you these earrings that I bought in an Oxfam shop, which always have brand new jewellery. I think these were only €2 and I'm delighted with them. I was wearing them all through this video, as you can see, but just forgot to tell you. Okay, that's it. Love you. Bye.